Namaskar. My name is Samarth Nagarkar. I'm very happy to be here and speak with you today about myself, my musical journey, my gurus, and this upcoming concert, Meeting Rivers. Music came to me very naturally as a very young child, and I think my parents were able to see that. I grew up in a household that had music playing around the clock almost, and they were very fond music lovers, and that I think fed into my own musical journey as a child. They took me to most concerts in the city, and that exposure was critical in eventually me finding that music was the path that I wanted to follow. Music was what I wanted to do, and I couldn't see myself doing anything else but music. I started training from Srimati Aditi Kaikini Upadhyaya in Bangalore. I must have been around 10 years old at the time, and very fortunate again to have been under her tutelage at that young age. She is an extraordinary teacher, a great mentor, and someone who was able to shape my vision of the bigger picture of music as well as what it takes to get there. By the time I finished my high school, I think I was in my own mind very clear that I had to do music and nothing else. And after consulting my parents and my teacher, I decided to move to Bombay, where I would be learning from Pandit Dinkar Kaikini, who I literally idolized at the time. One of the most profound human beings, gurus, musicians. I went to him when I must have been, I think, 15 or 16 years old. For the next 6-7 years, I was consumed by that musical tutelage that I went through. Following this, I think what happened next was again something that defined the course of the rest of my life. I moved to Kolkata to study from Pandit Ulhas Kashalkar at the ITC Sangeet Research Academy. It's one of the finest schools of music, gurukuls you can say, and probably one of the first and most successful institutional gurukuls in the country and in the world. Both my stints in Bombay and in Kolkata had one thing in common, which is intensive training and living in close proximity with my guru. In Kolkata, I was on campus. My guru could hear me practicing every day. Same in Bombay, I was practically living in his house. So that constant input from my gurus was very critical. In Kolkata, just walking around the campus in SRA would be so enriching. There was not a single time of day or night that you could walk out and not hear somebody practicing or not listen to somebody teaching or listening to music. And that atmosphere and environment was, I think, very unique. There were times when I would just finish practice and come out, and there would be Guruji or any other, great musicians and gurus of the time who would have, ready there to give me some kind of feedback or even a word of encouragement. You come out of your own practice and you listen to somebody else practicing, and that kind of inspires you to go back and double up on your practice. So that was a very nice experience as well. I had the fortune of first learning from Pandit Dinkar Kaikini, as I was mentioning before, and Pandit Ulhas Kashalkar. Kaikiniji's guru, Ratan Jankarji, learned from none less than Ustad Fayaz Khan, one of the most prominent figures of the agra-gharana. He also trained in the Gwalior style from Antubua Joshi, Anant Manohar Joshi. My guru himself, Kaikiniji himself, was largely influenced by Raja Bhaiya Poochwale of the Gwalior Gharana. So there itself there was a beautiful blend of the Gwalior Agra styles in his music. And then my guru Pandit Ulhas Kashalkar, he also represents 2 or 3 different Gharana Gaikis, because his guru Gajanan Rao Joshi, being born in the family of a Gwalior Gharana musician, having trained extensively as a Gwalior Gharana musician, after being quite popular as a Gwalior Gharana musician, went out, sought other gaikis to learn. He went to Burji Khan Sahab, he went to Vilayat Hussain Khan Sahab and trained for extended periods of time in their Gharana gaiki. He was able to pass that on to my Guruji, Ulhaskar Shalkarji, and that's the kind of training that we received as well. No artist sits down and says, okay, let me learn a little bit of Agra, let me learn a little bit of Gwalior and mix it and blend it. It doesn't happen that way. It's a very organic, very slow and natural evolution of that artist. One of the things that my guru told me when I was finishing my stint in Kolkata and when I was about to leave out into the world as an artist in my own right, was that he said, just remember that you will not find a quote-unquote musical atmosphere anywhere you go. You will not find inspiration anywhere in this world unless and until you are prepared to be a part of that generation of inspiration, of that musical environment. When I look back, I see that I've moved from city to city depending on where my music took me. From Bangalore I moved to Bombay, from Bombay to Kolkata. From Kolkata I was for a year in Lucknow, another hub of Indian classical music at one time. After all those experiences, when I came to the US on a tour, I traveled for about 3.5 months across the country, went to the East Coast, the West Coast, North, South, Central America, all of that, interacted with several musicians, audiences, and realized that music was set up for many big things in this country as of where we are now in this particular day and age. So that made me think of the possibilities that this country could offer and what my role could be in this field of music as a musician. For the last 6-7 years, I've been spending a chunk of my time in the US and traveling back and forth from India, Europe, and performing as much as possible, while at the same time working to build communities not only in India but also here in the US, in New York, in New Jersey, and wherever else I can. I try to fulfill my responsibility in as many ways as possible, going out to the world as a performing artist and singing on stage is one thing, but also to educate as many people as possible, to bring this music to as many people as possible in its most authentic and sincere form is something that I'm very passionate about. It is important to understand that Indian classical music is not some monolith, it's not some one standard format that all of us have to go and adhere to. Within that tradition, within those disciplines, there are many sub-traditions which we call gharanas and gaikis. And to be able to understand each of them, learn them with as much sincerity as possible and represent them and perform them with as much authenticity as possible is the best that we can do. And along the way, as a musician does that with multiple styles that he has learned, there is something unique that might come out of it. Something that is very individual, something that is very unique to that musician that evolves out of that whole process. That, I think, is what this festival is trying to celebrate and highlight. So yes, I'm really excited about this upcoming concert, the Meeting Rivers concert in Mumbai at the G5A Auditorium on December 9th. Save the date. Keep the whole day for us. It's going to be a whole day of wonderful music, and come join us. And a big thank you to First Edition Arts for putting this whole festival together.